Morrow Energy is a company of approximately 120 employees that designs through engineering, drafting, and then manufacturing process facilities, some of which we use in renewable energy projects in a business called Morrow Renewables that we have as well. It's a real blessing and joy to get to actually build things and put your hands on it. I graduated with Bachelor of Science from Texas Tech in chemical engineering and went on and got an MBA at Texas Tech. I went into small business with my father approximately 25 years ago. I think of all the things the Texas Tech Whitaker College of Engineering did for me was teaching me how to work really hard, and that's what paid off the most when I got out of school.
So Texas Tech had a big impact on my career. Obviously it was where I started. The people at Tech are people that I still remember, people that I still talk to, and just especially the faculty there. They really know how to get you focused on your career. With the emphasis that they had on the oil and gas market, definitely helped me prepare for just the kind of people I was going to deal with out in the real world and a lot of the work we were going to do.
The Texas Tech Whitaker College of Engineering did have an impact on my career in that that's where I got my degree from. I was able to get a job in engineering because of that, and for sure it was very helpful. I think one of the things that's very helpful with an engineering degree is just the ability to know how to learn, and that's what we do every day as engineers. We got to learn new things. I'm always learning new things. I do use the concepts that I learned in school pretty much every day. Maybe not to the extent theoretically that we studied them, but they've been very helpful and very useful. And so, but just to be able to know how to learn new concepts, that's kind of an important thing that I learned from Texas Tech.
My father started in this business and I followed him around looking at what he did and thought that looked very interesting. So I chose to follow exactly where he went to school at Texas Tech and get the same degree he got in chemical engineering. What inspired me to want to give back was just the opportunity to do something that could contribute to the school. They needed a pilot plant and we build things, so it was just a natural fit. This particular pilot plant project started with participation on the Engineering Auxiliary Board of the Texas Tech School. From there led to a discussion about a pilot plant, which myself and some another professor shared with a hand drawing, and eventually evolved into some equipment supply for the school. And I'm excited for the school to have this because it's something that's been needed and deserved for some time.
This pilot plant would have been very, not only fun to get to learn while in college, but also extremely useful from a process knowledge point of view. So because this was an actual implementation of the way people do it in the real world, not just a super scaled down, like very specific project, this incorporates every aspect of the engineering process as well as the operations process. So it would have been extremely useful to see everything from how they picked the different sizes of equipment to how they decided on pumps, to even get to see the stuff in operation. To be able to see the pieces of equipment running exactly how they work and making it do something, I think would have been extremely useful.
Well, the pilot plant is going to give people a chance to put their hands on something that's real and tangible, and that's always been a real strategic gift from the engineering school at Texas Tech, is just a hands-on, can-do engineering approach. So this is a chance to continue to sharpen that skill set for both their undergraduates and for their graduates to run some tests with real equipment.
I think that the class that is going to be able to use this new pilot plant for Morrow Energy is really going to benefit from it. In past labs with us, some of the equipment has been around for some time, and that caused issues. So it's a lab that you go to for up to 4 hours, and you've got to collect a lot of data to then go 2 weeks between labs and analyze. And if your data is off, Now, instead of getting the intended takeaway, you're focused on why was my data off, when it should have never been off in the first place. So a lot of time wasted, and a lot of the time you have to go to the professor and say, hey, what was the takeaway supposed to be? Because this is the first time that we're learning this and it didn't go like it was supposed to. And that's just because of old equipment. So I think that it's really awesome that they're going to get brand new equipment and things are going to work the way they're supposed to, and now their focus is going to be on what it was intended to be on, instead of trying to solve problems for bad data and spend a whole lot of time doing something other than what was intended. I think anybody who makes a donation to Texas Tech like that of this system from Morrow Energy is making a huge contribution to the students, to the legacy. When we give things back to the university, it affects class after class after class for as long as that gift has a relevant lifetime. And I think that this gift that they've given is going to affect classes for 20 years from now or better. And when we donate something like that, it really increases the level of education that's coming out of there that was prior to that limited by what we had to work with. So it's definitely encouraged me. I hope someday that I'm able to go out and make something of myself to such an extent that I'm able to come back and give something like what was given here with the new system with Morrow Energy.
It's important for alumni to support Texas Tech University because they have the skill set and the ability to do it. And the undergraduates and a lot of the young people at Texas Tech have a 4-year, 5-year window to get exposure to these things. And for when graduates from the college get involved, things tend to move a little quicker.
The impact on all the students who are going to use this is similar to what I would have gotten out of it. Just being able to see a real world project. This is not fake. This is not scaled down or tuned down or anything. This is all the same parts, the same equipment, the same design process that we go through for every other project that we produce. The interface is the same, how you deal with it is the same, and just being able to see everything actually running as one unit is an extreme benefit when you're looking at trying to design individual pieces. And since most of the classes focus on one piece at a time, getting to see them all interact and how one really affects the other is going to be a great improvement, I think, in terms of the student skills for being able to come out of college and go straight into working.
This opportunity to give something back to the school was just being largely the right time, right place, but also a chance to apply the skills and the things that I learned at Texas Tech in a way that was meaningful back for Texas Tech. And so I'm really excited to have this opportunity to put this equipment in front of people, and I think it's going to be a strategic advantage for the graduates at Texas Tech to have had hands-on experience with the kind of equipment that they'll see when they go out into industry. think this pilot plant will benefit the students greatly because they'll have an experience to be around the real kind of equipment and just understand what they're looking at and how it mechanically works, which is what a lot of employers spend quite a bit of time, maybe up to a year, trying to educate people on. So they'll have a leg up in that regard, that they've actually seen and put their hands on and around real pumps, real heat exchangers, real distillation columns.
I guess to get the full value out of the use of the pilot plant, I would say, do your homework, look into the different unit operations that are on there, the heat exchangers, the aerial coolers, design internals. All those are things that you will be using in industry. So take those opportunities and learn about those even beforehand, reading about them, and then once you come into the lab, you can take a very hands-on approach, turn all the valves that the lab procedure calls for. Just be very actively participating, because all of this is real life stuff.
So on this project, there were a lot of people from Texas Tech that worked on it, not just me. I wouldn't be in this spot if it weren't for the start my dad had or for the support of my brother and all the other Texas Tech engineers that we've hired here that have worked really hard on this plant. So it's for everybody. I don't think I could ever really put it into words what it means to get a chemical engineering degree at Texas Tech, because I honestly believe if you can do this, then you can do anything. I have the pleasure of running a business now that employs 250 people, and it's a wonderful thing to get to train other people and provide those opportunities. And every bit of that groundwork was all laid right where we're standing, right in these buildings, right in some of these places where I walk in and still get chills down my neck from thinking about taking exams or whether I'm prepared enough or what it's going to take to be successful. One of the funnest things for me was actually drawing that double T pressure drop experiment out of pipe and figuring out all the different parts and pieces that were meaningful to me in my career, and thinking, how can I push young people up 10 years, to a place where they might not have learned these things for quite a while, that they could learn them right here at Texas Tech.
We're here today to really celebrate an outstanding gift that was given to us by Paul Morrow.
On behalf of the department, the faculty, the staff, the students, thank you, Paul, for your commitment and your vision to make us on the top 25 departments in the world.
For me, this department and where I'm standing, these buildings, this is hallowed ground. And it's probably been the most profound experience I've ever had to get a chemical engineering degree at Texas Tech. I want engineers to have that experience to come out of Texas Tech, is that they're the most prepared, they're the best, they're the guys and young ladies, young men that know how to look at this stuff and actually know what it is and know how it works. And that's what this is about, is translating the ideas we have from these buildings where we learn about simulations into real world results. Texas Tech has a fantastic record for success in their graduates in chemical engineering, and if this can push them up, then I'm very proud to be a part of it.